진행하도록 하겠습니다. 세션 3은 이렇게 장례 정리하는 중에 설명을 드리겠습니다. 세션 3은 광주교육을 위한 에듀테크의 활용 전망에 대한 주제 강연입니다. 이번 발표는 아이스크림 미디어의 곽덕훈 부회장님께서 해주시겠습니다. 부회장님께서는 한국방송통신대학교 교수로 재직하셨고 한국교육학술정보원장과 EBS 사장을 역임하셨습니다. 지금은 아이스크림 미디어 부회장으로 한국 디지털 교육을 위해 여전히 현장에서 뛰고 계십니다. 광주교육을 위한 에듀테크의 활용 전망, 생성형 AI 교육적 활용을 중심으로라는 내용으로 발표를 하시겠습니다. 뜨거운 박수로 맞아주시기 바랍니다.
Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
소개받은 곽덕훈입니다.
Good afternoon. As introduced, I am
마지막이 되니까 이제
Vice
집에 갈 시간도
President
되고
Kwak Dok-hun. It's
저도 서울 갈 시간도 머지않은 것 같습니다.
I think some of you are thinking about how we can call it a day, when we can call it a day and go back to home. And I'm also thinking about going back to Seoul after the end of this forum. So how we will expand the usage of edutech. So that will be the major topic for my presentation. For 10 months, after I retire as the president of CARIES, I thought about how we should apply edutech in the many different fields of education. Ice-cream now is a new tool that is being applied for the school teachers, elementary school students. You know what the services are about, and these are very popular among the teachers. Education, well, the quality of education will be determined by the competence of the teachers. And when the teachers are not satisfied, no matter how great the technology is, it will not be really increasing the quality of education. The humans are the center of education. I prepared a lot, but I'm only given 20 minutes. So it's 4:48, and I should be wrapping up my presentation by 5:08 p.m. And there are a lot of links that are attached to my slides, and I will be giving you the presentation file, so you can go visit those links and to see what are there. Within this 20 minutes, I will not be explaining every details that I have in this presentation. This presentation is actually for a 40-minute presentation. So I came to Gwangju for this 20-minute presentation, so please listen attentively to my presentation. So now we have this generative AI, the new high-tech technology, how it's going to be applied in education. We have amazing new technologies that are driving future digital transformation. You cannot leverage all these technologies, but depending on your needs, that you can leverage some of those technologies. In the Japan's case, the ChatGPT is used for the elementary school education, but in Korea, we cannot use generative AI for the elementary school education. And we are developing the generative AI-based English and the Korean education. If we can use generative AI, we have an enormous potential that can benefit the learners, but that's not being the case in Korea. So how we can increase the quality of service, that will be the key, and that is the main priority that our developers have.
받아보십시오.
So please enjoy the service of ice cream. These services were focused on the teachers who are the main users of those services that are provided by ice cream. And secondly, these massive social changes are taking place because of the increasing use of internet. The 5.6 billion people around the world are now using the internet, and that's bringing about a lot of changes. And what we have thought about are becoming the reality. And I went to the college when I was back in the 1960s, and what was being envisioned and imagined back then are now becoming ubiquitous and becoming the everyday subject. And beyond sapiens is the new term that is being talked about. I do not believe that AI can surpass the humans. The simple and the repetitive things can be done by AI, but the intuitive and the requiring the intelligence of the humans cannot be done by those AI. And you all know those details, so I will skip this slide. And secondly, for the future education, and I made this definition since an IT expert, I made this definition, but you might have a different definition. How humans should live, how they should coexist with the technology and coexist with the nature, and how they can live in symbiosis with the machines. This new generations, the alpha generation, how we should educate them. You should not think and view them from your own perspective. We should have a different perspective because they are the new generation who will be living in the future. Now, the generative AI, this cannot be ignored and not used in the educational field. The AI, the textbooks, and the generative AI use is now being prohibited. But those who have used this generative AI, that everything is being possible for the generative AI. Now it's being used to create the script for the sermons at church even. Now the EduTech is being talked about a lot. EduTech, it's applying technology to education to increase the quality and increase the access and increase the utilization of technology for education. So we do have those challenges, the physical and emotional challenges. How can we aid those who are disadvantaged physically and emotionally with this technology? And we do have the right technology that can support them. And here a lot of the links are attached to here, so if you visit this link that you can see the more details. EduTech, in order for the EduTech to be successful, of course we should increase the access and have more resources, and the global interaction is needed as well. And Coconut is given to the employers, the communication, collaboration. Without communication and collaboration, you cannot achieve anything, and it's the same for the global corporation as well. And you need the laws and the good systems as well. If you like to go global, things need to be standardized, and the standardization is explained here. And in about 49 countries, the standardization is now being tried, and how the generative AI is being applied. And for this LLM model, you probably hear a lot about the LLM model, but now we have a new model, the large multimodal model. So not just the text, the images, or the others can also be incorporated. And the generative AI can now make drawing as well. So if you go there, the GPT Turbo was launched, and it's quite fast. And Google launched Gemini last week, but there were some problems. They overaccelerated the benefits of Gemini, so you can also visit this link to see more details. And when the generative AI is being applied, 7 trillion market can be generated, and thus are the prediction made. What will be the strategies for the use of ChatGPT in class? The AI can enhance learning, and AI can improve the productivity and generate or organize context. And AI can help you rethink cheating and plagiarism, and it can also address the learning gaps, because the right level contents can be provided for the students. And here you see the references that are attached as the link, so you can go to this link to see more details there as well. If you go there, then you can see what is ChatGPT and how you can use the ChatGPT and what are some of the challenges associated with it. So, due to the time constraints that I have today, I'm letting you know how you can use all the text and the data that I have. I cannot spend more time making this presentation. So how the generative AI can help students develop the 6 major C's for the future. So let's skip this one as well. And in this age of generative AI, how we should use EduTech. We need to develop the personalized learning environment with AI, that's essential. And what are some of the ways that we can use AI for education? And here that you can see the use of EduTech to develop the competency of the students for some of the promising jobs that we have in the future. And now here that you can see the SDG was talked about by the previous speaker in the global EduTech market. 17.3% growth was achieved, and these are the statistics. And in this generative AI era, there are some opportunities and the challenges facing education. So how can we facilitate the efficient use of AI for education? You're the only one who can benefit from all these links, because I'm going to give you the presentation files to you later. And these are the ideas for the use of generative AI. So if you are going to write a paper on generative AI, this will be quite helpful. And what are some of the opportunities and the threats for the use of generative AI? And now, let's talk about and look into some of the major trends in the educational field in 2024. If I spend time explaining all these keywords, it will be taking too much time. So I will skip that one as well. And for teaching and pedagogy that we can use ChatGPT, and these are the data from UNESCO. So there were 9 different cases where the ChatGPT can be used for teaching and learning.
자세히 이렇게
So you
한번
can refer to
봐주시면 되겠습니다.
these later as
그다음에
well.
연구에서는 어떤 것들이
And
어떻게
how
활용할
the
수 있는 걸
ChatGPT can be
정리하는 거고요.
used for the studies.
그다음에 이 챗GPT를 잘못 썼을 때
And
나올 수
here,
있는
when
거
ChatGPT is misused, that there could be the
hallucination 같은
plagiarism
문제를
or
어떻게
the
우리가 극복해 나갈
hallucination.
거냐
So
그런
how we can
얘기고요.
overcome
그다음에
these
여기에
side
이게
effects.
중요한 내용이 있네요.
And here
교육과
it's
관련된
important,
플러그,
the plug
그러니까
in
우리가
for
무슨
education.
앱
For example,
다운받고 막 그러듯이요.
that we
그러니까
download apps,
연결해서
right?
쓸 수 있는 것이
So
지금
those
앱이 한
plugins,
2만여 개 나와 있는데
there are
교육
about
쪽 앱이 제일 많아요. 그래서 제가 이게
20,000
정리하는데
applications, and
플러그인에 이렇게
mostly
딱
those are
들어가면
in the
하나만 제가
education
들어가는데
field. So
인터넷에
let's go
들어가면은
into
교육과
this
관련된
one.
여기 보면
If you go to the
챗GPT의
internet,
플러그인들을 쭉 정리해 놓은 건데요.
these are the
분류해 놨어요.
ChatGPT
여기 보면은
plugins, and these are
에듀케이션
classified.
누르면은
And if you click the
에듀케이션에 관련
education,
것들이
you can see all the education related
예를
plugins.
들어서
For
매스 멘토
example,
이런 거 플러그
Mass
들어가 보면은
Mento,
두 자릿수 곱하기를 가장 쉽게
that
설명할 수
double
있는
digit
방법.
multiplication
우리 아이한테 어떻게
is
설명해?
how can I explain the two-digit multiplication easily to my child, and that is given by this plugin.
플러그인 이거 클릭해도 되고
So those
GPTs
plugin, you can click this and
이거
GPTs.
클릭하면 또 그
If you
사이트로
click
갈
this
수
and you
있고요.
can visit the
AI
site
에듀케이터 툴
and AI
이거
educator
클릭해도 그쪽으로 갈
tools.
수
If you
있어요.
click
그러니까
this,
여기
you can also
선생님들이
go to
나중에
that
제
relevant
자료를 한
website.
2시간 서핑을 해야 돼요.
So I think you have to spend 22
그다음에 이제
hours
여기가
visiting all the
챗GPT를
sites I linked here.
무한한 잠재력과 사용
And there are
방법에 대해서
infinite
제가
potential
정리된
for
내용이에요.
ChatGPT and how you can leverage the ChatGPT, and these are based on the references and from the
제가 그
UNESCO.
문서의 레퍼런스를
And
밑에다 다
all those
달아줬어요.
references are linked here at the bottom. I'm not saying on my own, and you can refer to those references and the original websites.
그러니까 그런 점을 이해해 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 요 자료는
And if you look at the
챗GPT
slide,
접목에 따른 도전과
then you
이점에
can
대해서
see
거꾸로
that some of
챗GPT한테
the
물어본 거예요.
challenges and the
무슨 말이냐면,
benefits that we can get
챗GPT한테
from leveraging
교수학습에서
ChatGPT in
챗GPT를
education.
접목할
And
때
when we
기회나
asked this
도전,
question to
그다음에
ChatGPT,
장애인이나
and these are the
우선순위가
responses
뭐냐를
that
물어봤을 때
ChatGPT
나온
gave
얘기를
to us.
사람이 정리한 거예요. 그런 자료라는 걸 말씀드리고요. 결론적으로 제가 방송대학에 오래 있었기 때문에
So in
시간을 잘
conclusion,
맞춰줘야 돼요.
yes,
빨리 잘
I've been
맞춰줘야 돼요.
teaching for
뒷사람을
long
위해서.
at the
에듀테크
Korea,
서비스를
the Communication
발전하려면
University, so
무엇보다도
that's
이게
why I'm very good
정책인데
at keeping right on time. So
전라남도
what's important is
교육청,
we need to think about some of the proposals for the policy. We have this educational office, and the direction that is set by the policy of this Metropolitan Office of Education is very important. And based on my discussion that I had with the superintendent, I can see the future for Gwangju education is bright. And now, but on the national level discussion, the Gwangju is not being talked about a lot. The ICT application does not guarantee the success of education, but the ICT has been applied, but it's not being talked about a lot. And during the tea time, I was able to see the enthusiasm and the commission of the superintendents of Gwangju. Now it's a time for Gwangju to take a leap forward in Gwangju education, but the Gwangju cannot achieve all this alone. Gwangju Office of Education should work with the private sector, the companies. When I was working at EBS and CARIS, public sector institutions were reluctant to work with the private sector, and now that's no longer the case, that those collaboration can be made, and the Ministry of Education is open to these collaborations, so you can work with the companies in this reason, and you can do so. The professor, that you should also be engaged in this collaboration. And I also told the superintendent,
교육청에서 돈 좀 준다고 하더라고요. 얼마나 주는지
that there are some budget
그래서
available
여기
at the
보면은
Metropolitan
이런
Office of
지금
Education,
정부가
so you can use this budget to
지난
work with the
며칠에
private sector.
9월 18일 날에
And on
에듀테크 진흥
September
방안, 이
18th,
기업과 연계해서 에듀테크 진흥 방안을
Edutech
교육부에서 발표한 겁니다.
promotional method
엄청난
was
변화를
announced
가지고
by
있어요.
the Korean
그러니까
Ministry of
교육청도
Education.
이제는
That you see
기업과 연계해서 어떻게
that
발전할
these
거냐
massive
모델을 만드셔야
changes
돼요.
are being anticipated,
이건 남은 게
and
아니라는
the
거예요.
Office of Education should
그래서
come up with something like
좋은
this.
기업도 지역에서 키우고
So you
협력하고
can
이런 것을
also
같이 하시기 바랍니다.
nurture and work with
그다음에
the
여기
local
보면은
businesses in
디지털
this
인재
region,
양성 방안이
and the digital talent
디지털 인재 양성 방안 같은 게 지금
nurturing
나왔어요.
was proposed as one
관계부처
method.
합동으로 이거는 거를 이제 참조를
And
하셔야 되겠고요. 가장
You can
지금
refer to these
저는
details later.
AI 디지털 개발 계획이 지금
And
추진되고 있어요.
AI digital
굉장히 지금
textbook
노력을
is being
합니다.
developed by the Korean government.
2025년인데 내년
Starting from the
AI 디지털
2025,
교과서를
you will have a
제출을 해야 돼요.
digital
만들어가지고.
AI
엄청난 일이
textbook.
지금 벌어지고 있는 겁니다.
And by next year, the
그러니까 이것이
prototype
되면
should be
대한민국이
submitted. Once
세계의
we have the
교육을
AI digital
ICT
textbook,
기반의 AI
we'll be able
기반의
to
세계
give the
교육을 선도할
top-notch
수가 있어요.
global education
그 점을 저는
based on AI and the digital technologies that we
그다음에
have.
최종적으로 정리된 게 이 자리예요.
And this is
대한민국의
the
디지털
digital
교육 비전을
educational vision of the
2023년도
Republic
2월에
of Korea,
발표한
and this
이거
was announced
참조하시면 굉장히
in
좋을 거예요.
February
디지털 교육
2023.
비전.
Digital education vision.
이거는 광주 교육의 미래 발전을 위해서 제가
And
정리한
for
내용입니다.
the future
미래 교육 패러다임
development
전환에
of
대해서
Gwangju
어떻게 해야 될
education,
거냐?
what should we
결국
do?
디지털 전환이라는 것은
Digital transformation is
형식적인
about
전환은 될 수 있지만 근본적인 변화를 하려면
fundamental
마인드
changes,
트랜스포메이션이 돼야 돼.
and that should be based
디지털
on
전환과
mindset
마음의 전환이 같이
transformation.
가야지
Mindset should be
절대 기술적인
transformed
변화만
together
가지고
with the
성공할 수
digital
없어요.
transformation.
마음의
With the
변화를
simple
일으키기 위해서 어떻게 해야
changes of the
되냐? 진정성을
technologies
가져야
that you
돼.
cannot bring about the
선생님과
true
학생과 학부
changes.
간의 진정성
You
있는
should
대화,
have a
교육청과
the mind
선생님들과의
to
진정성 있는 대화,
have
탑다운이
changes,
아니라
and
바텀이다.
it should be the
리더, 오늘
bottom
아침에
up,
초찬에서
not the
드린
top down
리더.
approach. Leaders
자기가 일을
should
하는 게
embrace
아니라
these
다른
changes,
사람들이
and
이 일을 할
leaders
수 있게끔
should
가슴을
encourage
움직이는
others
사람이다.
to be the leaders.
반면에
And they should move the
전문가는
heart of
다른 사람
others, and
상관없이
the
혼자 모든 걸
experts
다 하려고 하는
are the
사람이다.
ones who are
여러분
doing
전문가가 되지
everything.
말고
You
리더가
should not
되시기
be
바랍니다.
the experts, but be the
미래
leaders
사회의
at
변화에
schools.
큰 변화가 오고 있는데
We
저는
are
앞으로 오는
anticipating the big
시기에는
changes in
AI가
the future.
빅블러 시대다.
All the
빅블러는
changes will
모든
be
경계가
brought
무너져요.
about by
교육에서도
big
경계가
blurs and
무너지고 있고
AI.
학습
Now the
문간에도
boundaries
경계가
are being
무너지고 사람
blurred
간에도
in the
경계가
educational
무너지고 또 지역
field
간에도
and
경계가
between the
무너지고
people and
그러면
between the
이런
regions. The
AI와
boundaries are now
빅블러
being
시대에
blurred. So in this
제가 여기서 묻고
era
있습니다.
of big blur and AI, I'd
AI와
like to ask
빅블러
you this
시대
question.
미래에 요구되는 역량 확보를
What
위해
are the
광주
capacity
교육은
needed
지금
for the
무엇을
future?
준비하고 있느냐?
And what Gwangju is doing to be ready for
깊이
these
생각하시기
changes in the future?
광주
Please
교육이
contemplate on these
광주에서가 아니라
ideas.
전라남도에서가
광주's
아니라
education
대한민국에서 아니라 세계에서 앞서가기 위해서
should
무엇을 해야
be
되느냐?
leading in the global
그러면
stage,
세계도
not
좀
just in
가보세요.
Gwangju, not just on the
교육감님한테
national
부탁드렸더니 돈이
level.
없어서 못 나간다고 그러는데.
But when I
이번에 1월
shared this
24일부터
idea to
26일까지
superintendent, he said
영국의
we do not
벤트도
have
한번
enough
가보시고
budget.
벤트쇼.
And please
내년
visit
6월에
the
열리는
UK to
ISD
see the
덴버에서
best
열리는
practice cases.
그런
And we
ICT가
also have the
기반이 되는 교육이 어떻게
ICT-based
세계가 변하고 있는가를
the educational
직접
field
눈으로 한번
conference
가서
that is
보시고
taking place in
나면은
Edinburgh.
내가 변해.
Then you go see and join and listen to the presentation made there, that you will see and you will feel the need for changes. So do not just confine to the city of Gwangju and go abroad and participate at the international conferences and to open and to change your mindset. The changes are inevitable. And the image that you're seeing
AI를 통해서 제가 그린 겁니다.
is being drawn by the
AI가
AI,
그린
the
뿐만 아니라
policy.
별의별 다 해줘요.
And AI can make a drawing and it can do everything.
그림도 그려보고 별거 다.
I can make a drawing like this
제가
and do
말씀드리고자 하는
everything
건
with the
여기까지고요.
generative
마지막으로 한
AI.
말씀
So that's it for
드린다면은
my presentation.
광주가 변하려면
And
내가
lastly,
변해야 된다.
If you like to bring
내가
about
변하지
change
않으면서
to
다른
Gwangju,
사람한테
you
변화를
should
요구하지
be the
마십시오.
change agent.
정말 내가 우리
Without
교육을 위해서,
changing
우리
yourself, do
아이를
not
위해서,
ask others
이
to
나라의
change.
미래를 위해서
For the
무엇을 해야 할
future of our
것인가를 깊이
children and for
고민하실
the
수 있는
future of our
계기를 제가
country, I
조금이라도
hope
마련해 드렸다면
you should have
저희
time to
서울에서
contemplate
이루어진
what are some of the
20분
changes
강의는
that I should
뜻깊고
have.
올라가도록 하겠습니다. 대단히 감사합니다.
So that's it for my 20-minute
네,
presentation.
감사합니다.
Thank you very
감사합니다.
much.
모두가
Thank you
리더가
very
되는
much.
그런